Tonight on Newswatch 18, we take a look at Governor Mitt Romney's visit to Ames.
Last Thursday, local Iowa representatives held election forums on campus. We'll have the details.
And we have all your Cyclone sports and weather. You're watching Newswatch 18.
This is Newswatch 18.
Milwaukee.
Newswatch 18 starts now.
Welcome to the Thursday, October 30th edition of Newswatch 18. I'm Scott Strelo.
And I'm Catherine Kuckelman. Right now, we have meteorologist Sam Schreier here to give us an overview of the weather. The East Coast is looking pretty bad out there.
Yeah, we're looking worse as it came on yesterday, obviously, but now Tropical Storm Sandy, if you guys can take a look at the graphic popped up on the screen for you, has made landfall. Lots of snow wrapping around the back side of this and rain still continuing to get dumped. So the flooding situation is still bad out there, continuing to get worse in some areas, but the worst has passed, and now it's time to just look towards cleanup. So I'll tell you more about this as I head into my weathercast.
Governor Romney visited Kinsler Construction Services along West Lincoln Way last Friday despite chilly weather. Romney spoke of the importance of the economy to Americans. The governor talked about student debt and how the government is too involved in students' lives. The presidential candidate stressed the importance of the Iowa vote and encouraged Ames voters to get out and do their part. Voting ends November 6th.
Current representatives and candidates running for the Iowa House General Assembly visited Iowa State last Thursday. ISU TV's Kate Tyndall and David Geiger bring us the politics on campus.
During the 45th and 46th District Iowa House Representatives Open Forum, hosted by the ISU ambassadors, a theme emerged: economics and higher education, forcing Story County's candidates to focus on school budgets and student job prospects.
We need to make sure we're prioritizing where we spend that money, and that's going to lower the cost of education, and it's going to help lower the cost of tuition in turn.
They can get a job after high school or after college, get into college and after college or community college. That's the great equalizer, and that's how we avoid going into, some of these economic depressions.
With the national election overshadowing state politics, both students and candidates encouraged voter participation at the local level.
It's imperative that we have a voice from the younger generation down in Des Moines, and I'd love to have one out in Washington too, to keep people paying attention to what the young people want.
We all benefit when we have a very highly educated student body and highly educated folks within the state of Iowa.
While the candidates discussed issues of higher education in depth, ISU students were eager to hear more.
How they're going to foster business growth in the state of Iowa so students can get a job and pay their loans back.
I think that they talked a lot about, ideally, how the situation would play out, or maybe things that they've done in the past, but maybe more of like the measures that they would take, to keep those kind of things in place.
I wish they would have talked about voter ID a little bit more. It's an issue that I like to hear about a little bit more from the candidates.
From Carver Hall with David Geiger, Kate Tyndall, ISU TV.
And make sure to tune in at 9 p.m. on Election Day for a special edition of Newswatch as we follow both campus and statewide the national race for the White House.
Howe Hall had part of its atrium recently turned into a classroom. Classes were moved to the new room on October 22nd. People called the 2,260 square feet of space a next-generation interactive classroom. The space is used for breakout groups and even lectures. 12 monitors surround the classroom with students sitting in rolling desks. The idea came from Richard Vlazine and Tom Brum, both professors at Iowa State. Similar facilities are being planned for Gilman and McKay Hall.
ISU students and community members came together this past weekend to find creative solutions to third world problems.
Amidst the piles of supplies and the hum of sewing machines, ISU volunteers have found a, quite literally, constructive way to make a difference. Hosted by the Workspace, volunteers attending Little Dresses for Africa workshops spent this past Saturday and Sunday ironing, cutting, and sewing. Using old pillowcases like these, ISU volunteers make new, creative outfits for children in Central Africa. Little Dresses for Africa is a non-profit Christian intradenominational organization. Because clothes imply that watchful adults are looking after children, Rachel O'Neill, founder of the organization, stressed that these clothes reduce child abuse and rape. Even if you have never touched a sewing machine, students insisted the learning process is easy.
It's been a long time since the last time I've sewn. It's incredibly easy. There's absolutely nothing to be afraid of.
Volunteers from surrounding communities also attended the workshops to donate supplies and time.
We in this country have been blessed with so much. We need to give back to those who don't have.
And with the program in its 6th year at ISU, student volunteers continue to inspire hope overseas.
Even if it's just for an instant, that they get that extreme happiness and excitement. So I would love to be able to give that to someone that doesn't necessarily have that opportunity.
From the workspace at ISU's Memorial Union, Kate Tyndall, ISU TV.
And the workspace hopes to see more volunteers at future Little Dresses workshops. Those interested can find weekend workshop dates at the workspace's webpage on ISU's university website.
There will be an in-depth discussion this Thursday on the main causes of the 2012 Iowa drought. The College of Agriculture and Life Sciences Agronomy Department will be hosting a free presentation given by Dennis Tody, who is a state climatologist and associate professor at South Dakota University. Find out why the Midwest got hit with consistent heat while little relief this summer, and what farmers and homeowners alike can do to better prepare themselves for a possible reoccurrence next year. This event starts at 4:10 p.m. this Thursday in room 2050 of the Agronomy Building. Research poster presentations and refreshments are available immediately following the presentation.
You might have guessed that your professors were accomplished authors, but how about your classmates? Claire Powell has more.
I am proud of my nerdiness.
Not many engineering majors take a break from their homework to write. But Chris Jacobs started a story in his 9th grade English class that he couldn't put down.
I rewrote the part of the book a couple times and just did a whole overhaul of the whole book to bring it all up to the standard that I wanted.
Jacobs wrote 1,000 words every day, combining Greek mythology and fantasy.
I got the motivation to do, I sat down and I wanted to write it. It was something that, it was just fun for me. I wanted just, it wasn't ever meant to be something to be published or to make money, or it was just something that I could do in my free time and have fun.
During college at Iowa State, Chris has had to learn to balance schoolwork and fun.
My academics come first. I'll put this comes at a second rate to my school because I feel like that's what I'm here to do. That's more of my job.
But the reward of seeing his title and book on Amazon.com was more thrilling than he ever expected.
It's amazing to see something that's 100% my work from beginning to end get published, and it was one of the most amazing feelings in my life.
Jacob's book can be found on Amazon.com.
Iowa has reached a driver's license mutual exchange agreement with the Republic of South Korea this week. Iowa Department of Transportation Director Paul Trombino III has just signed a special agreement today with Chol Ha, the Consulate General of the Republic of Korea in Chicago. Effective immediately, the agreement will allow South Korean citizens who are Iowa residents over the age of 18 to exchange their South Korean driver's license for valid Iowa driver's license. The agreement will assist students, travelers, and business people in both South Korea and Iowa to promote economic growth. So Chandler, what's going on in the world of sports?
Well, I have some football, soccer, and volleyball for you after the break. You're watching Newswatch 18.
Cyclone Insiders. Talking Iowa State sports with Matt Van Winkle, Sam Turner, and Andrew Schneider. Game recaps, previews, predictions, and interviews with Iowa State athletes and coaches. If you're a Cyclone sports fan, tune in to Cyclone Insiders. A new episode every week on ISU TV, Mediacom Channel 18. And on your YouTube page, ISU TV. It's Cyclone Insiders.
Be sure to tune in to ISU TV Live on Tuesday, November 6th at 9 p.m. as ISU TV has exclusive election coverage after the polls close. We'll have reporters live in the field in both Ames and in Des Moines to give you the latest results and more. You can find a full list of results as well as some videos leading up to the election on our YouTube page, youtube.com/ISUTV, and on our Twitter @ISUTV. Also, give us a like on Facebook if you want exclusive photos from this year's election.
Cyclone Sports. On homecoming weekend at Jack Trice Stadium, the Cyclones look to recover after 2 tough consecutive losses against the struggling Baylor Bears. Baylor found the end zone early in this matchup, followed no more than 5 minutes later by a Cyclone receiving touchdown by Jarvis West. Jans would go on to connect for 5 total touchdown passes on the day, tying a Cyclone record. ISU would not give up their lead after halftime, winning by a final of 35-21. The Cyclones are now 5-3 on the season and 2-3 in Big 12 conference play. The Cyclones match up at home against a tough Oklahoma squad Saturday at 11. Perhaps the biggest news from the game is that the Big 12 Defensive Player of this week, Jake Knott, has had his season ended by a shoulder injury.
He's been the voice, if there is such a player with this particular team, of the defense. He's the one in the locker room game day that is challenging them, is motivating them. Not that we don't have people capable of filling those shoes with AJ and a number of other senior players on this roster, but he's been that guy. He's the kind of teammate that you don't want to disappoint. He's the kind of teammate that you want to play for. And with the possibilities in mind going into Saturday's game, I think that was largely the case by our guys. But big play interceptions, caused fumbles, recovered fumbles, drive, stop, and tackles, and things like that. A 2-time elected captain by his teammates. A young man that really helped jumpstart this era of Cyclone football. He's played through a lot of pain, which is a tribute to him, his toughness, and his overall selfless desire to be a team player. It was never, ever about Jake Knott. It was always about the Iowa State Cyclones.
Knott had surgery on Monday. Rhodes wouldn't rule out Knott for a potential bowl game, but all signs point to him focusing on his NFL draft status. The Iowa State soccer team ended their season with a loss against Oklahoma Friday at the Cyclone Sports Complex. Iowa State fell behind when a goal was made by Annalisa Hall 2 minutes into the game. With just 1 minute before halftime, the Cyclones let up another goal to Samantha Howell. Going into the second half, the Sooners had a 2-0 lead. ISU struggled to score a goal and fell short when another goal was scored with 1 minute left. Sophomore Ashley Johnson led the team with a career high of 5 shots in the game. Junior Jen Dominguez was given the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year award by College Sports Madness on Monday. Cyclone volleyball hit the road Saturday to play the TCU Horned Frogs. In Game 1, an error by TCU gave Iowa State the first back-to-back points for either team in the match, with ISU taking a 6-4 lead. The Cyclones stayed strong, taking a 21-12 lead and continued to push themselves, giving them a 1-0 lead in the first game. Straub and Hurt each led the team with 5 kills in the opening game. Malloy played tough with 4 kills late in the second set and gave Cyclones a 2-0 lead. Janisha Matlock locked in the win for ISU with a cross-court kill, her 6th kill of the day. Iowa State volleyball takes a break from Big 12 play and travels to South Dakota State on Tuesday. That's all I have for sports. CM, you gave us a bit of weather earlier. What's the forecast looking like?
Good. Pretty nice temperatures on our way and not a whole lot of rain in sight. So stay tuned. This is Newswatch 18. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm meteorologist Sam Schreier. We've got a fantastic couple days coming up ahead of us. A little cold though, 43 degrees right now in Ames. It's getting that time of year though in fall, and this is what we can expect. And oh goodness, my clicker's not working, and this is a little bit embarrassing. So what I'm gonna have to do is one of my helpers, Natalie, go back there and just hit F12 for me real quick, and that should advance us right on through. There we go. So local temps for us tonight, guys. Mostly 40s all across the state. Let's go ahead and zoom out over Iowa. Natalie, if you could hit F12 again. Oh, she's doing so good. Current temps around the state, mostly 40s again. Upper 30s, 38 here in Waterloo, and about 37 in Mason City. Then zooming out more across the region. Oh no, sorry, we're going to stick in here tonight's lows. Couple 20s sneaking their way into the state. Take a look at this. 33 degrees in Ames, about 33 in Des Moines, and 33 in Fort Dodge, so the warmest right in the middle of the state. Now let's go ahead and move on. Take a look at what we got coming up next. Tomorrow's highs, about 60 degrees, a little bit warmer heading in towards Des Moines, but mostly 50s throughout most of Iowa, and then a little warmer off to the south and west. But taking a look at what's coming up for tomorrow's highs, more in the state specifically, about 55 in Waterloo, 54 in Mason City, and about 60 degrees into Des Moines. So mostly nice all across the state. Taking a look at the clouds and radar along the nation. Now take a look at this. On both sides of me, on the the west coast, big low pressure system spinning out there, going to bring us some more weather later in the week. But the big story is over here. Let's go ahead and push F12 again. Natalie, and we'll zoom in on our system here. This is Tropical Storm Sandy, or post-Tropical Storm Sandy, and we do have some snow wrapping around the back side of it. I'll get out of your way here. And just some more rain starting to pile into the area. But the worst of post-tropical Sandy is over, and we just have some cleanup left over it. So let's keep moving on here throughout the show. Again, forgive us a little bit of technical difficulties, but this will happen. Batteries don't last forever. Currently right now in Iowa, just a few clouds, and I'm assuming this is just an overzealous forecast model trying to say there's rain in the area, but probably not a whole lot there in the western part of Iowa. So not a whole lot going around in the state right now. Let's keep going on. Our future cast, just hit it once there for me, Natalie, and this is going to slowly zoom through the most boring pattern I've ever seen for Iowa, since this summer at least. This low pressure just slowly slides and kind of wants to move out here through the next few days, and just a bunch of clouds stay in our region, with temperatures being about the mid-50s all the way through. Not a whole lot of rain in sight, maybe a small chance heading into Friday when a low pressure system kind of forms up to the north and west of Iowa, but really that's about it. So let's go ahead and take a look at tonight. You're going to hit, again, freezing temps, pretty cold tonight, 31 degrees, and partially guiding in tomorrow. Tomorrow, though, we'll see a high of about 56, and then taking a look at your 7-day, pretty mild temperatures all through the week. Heading into Saturday's game, though, 50 degrees, and that's all I've got for weather, so let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Sam. When students visited Central Campus at midnight last Friday, they saw a sea of faces. Kate Tyndall and David Geiger were there at the bell's toll.
Pancakes and fireworks hosted by the ISU Homecoming Committee began and ended a long-standing tradition for the Centennial celebration, mass campaigning.
But it's one of those things that you have to have on your bucket list of being an Iowa State student.
There's a tradition on campus. A student is not a true Iowa Stater until he or she has kissed underneath the campanile at midnight. This tradition holds greater significance to some couples.
I think it's a fantastic tradition, and it has really good timing for us personally. We're celebrating our 1-year anniversary this weekend.
There was more to this year's activities than met the eye after a couple got engaged underneath the fireworks.
While mass campaigning took center stage, there were many other homecoming activities for students to be excited for.
The Homecoming Committee gave out awards to the best Greek pairings. There was all-you-could-eat pancakes and, of course, the fireworks. But was this 100th homecoming celebration engaging enough for the students?
I say definitely.
I think we'll definitely be back.
With Kate Tyndall at Central Campus, David Geiger, ISU TV.
Mass campaigning takes place over homecoming and Visha celebrations. That's all for tonight's edition of Newswatch 18.
Be sure to tune in on Thursday at 8 for more Cyclone news, weather, and sports.